Welcome to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show presented by GoMart. Go for good times, go for GoMart. With me, I've head track and field coach Dan Meyers. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Jagger, thanks for having me.
All right, Coach, we didn't get to talk to you last week about MECs, but you were there a few weeks ago. Janae Scott won her fourth straight shot put championship, 2 in indoor, 2 in outdoor. She also finished second in the discus. You had Jordan Taylor, Natalie Barr, Aaron Kuffner, Charlie Bowman, and those athletes earned some podium finishes. Not the team result I know you wanted to have going up there. Had some unfortunate things happen, a few injuries. But how do you think the meet went overall?
Yeah, all those individuals, work their tail off this season, to get on those all conference spots. And, it's a little different in our sport in terms of, all conference. Like you got to show up on that day and do it. And those individuals definitely did that. And on the men's side, we had some unfortunate, circumstances, had an injury, and, Aaron Kuffner had a good one going in the 400 hurdles and just kind of a traumatic fall towards the end, but he was putting himself out there, and he represented us very, very well. And to get on the podium in the 110s, we were primed for a good 400 hurdle and just didn't go our way. But, he stole a few spots, and I'm just so proud that he got on that podium earlier in the day, with what was forthcoming. But he had a heck of an effort. Janae Scott, 4 in a row. She's really making a name for herself across the league, and to go 4 in a row, it's huge. And she won it on her first throw. So first throw, it was a conference championship throw. So that was big. Jordan Taylor getting back on the podium. Charlie Bauman, excellent day. He ended his junior year at 14.11, 14.11 meters in shot put, and came out and threw 15.90 this year, and just goes to show what Coach Johnson's doing with those throwers. Janae Scott again coming back in the discus, getting back on the podium. She was 20 plus points for us at the meet, and that was huge. And some things didn't go our way, and that's kind of part of it in this sport. But I'm proud of the group that we took up there. They competed hard, and we just need some more depth in some areas to make up for stuff like that happening in the future. And then Natalie Barr, with the new school record in the 800, the top 3 girls in that race won under the previous meet record. So, it was the fastest 800 women's race in MEC history. It was a negative split, 69 to a 66. And she ran great. And she got beat by 2 really, really good girls. Looking back to last year when she was third, it was around like a 218, 219. She was just proud to get back on that podium after indoor season and, to do it in the fashion of running her best ever time outdoors. And the way she did it, she got out to the lead early, and then just hung in that top 3 pack, and they just kind of separated themselves, and it was a great race. So across the board, we had some other great finishes. Our relays, for the lack of depth that we had in some of those, they ran tremendous. Jenna Barnett had a great race in the steeplechase. Just across the board, Addie Cottrell was a huge pickup for us this year. Not the finishes that she wanted, but to have her in the mix of that throws group was big. Casey Mahoney scored in the shot put. There's a bunch of great things to kind of hang our hat on. Not the team finish we wanted, but onward and upward, and we got some really talented kids that I'm excited to see their future here.
And some of those kids will still have a chance to compete this year. You have a last chance meet coming up at Baldwin Wallace. You'll send Janae Scott, Addie Cottrell, Natalie Barr, Charlie Bauman, and Aaron Kuffner. Expectations there? What do you want to see out of those kids?
Yeah, basically kind of our standard for the last chance meets was to, if you were ranked top 10 in the region in an event, that we would take you to a last chance meet. And in our sport, top 5 mark or time at the end of the year is considered all region. So Janae Scott's currently in the all region spot in the shot put. Natalie and Kuffner and Charlie and Addie are on the outside looking in. Just trying to give them an opportunity to get in the all-region mix. We went to that meet last year with Janae and Natalie, and it was a phenomenal meet. And it's really set up for, kids to kind of do their best at the end of the year. And just awesome announcing, great facility. We're, hopefully maybe some school records, and, excited for Aaron Kuffner to get another shot at those 400 hurdles and take a shot at our school record. So there's a lot of good things there that I'm excited for. This group's earned it, and I'm excited for one more trip with this small group.
And you got the last chance meet coming up, but I wanted to talk to you about the season as a whole. I mean, I know the MEC meet wasn't what you wanted. How do you want it to end the season? But when you look back at the season as a whole, you had a lot of school records, a lot of PRs, a lot of event wins at the meets you went to. When you look back, what do you see?
I feel like looking back at the season, I walk past the record board every day and look at the updates that you've put on there. And I'm very proud. I feel like a little bit, maybe we don't have as much to show for it after what happened at conference, but it's not going to take away the young names on that board at all. On the men's side, there were some records we took down from the 80s that, honestly, when I got here, and the state of where we were in the distance program, that I really never thought, especially year 2, year 3, that we'd ever get guys in here to run for those marks and get those school records, and to have 2 guys as freshmen that go out and took down 35+ year records was outstanding. And then you look at the women's side. I think there were 6 school records this year on the women's side, and I would argue, our team finish is what our team finish is, but I think it's one of the best women's teams in school history, especially with our top talent. And to return all of those women next year is a really, really cool feeling. So, I don't look at it as it was a failure of a season, because I know that we're returning a lot of those key people for next year. But just onward and upward and building depth around the program. And like I said, that we're doing it with good kids. We're doing it with good people. And that's something that I'm really proud of. But again, not what we wanted to finish the season. And I know we have a lot of people motivated for next year to kind of have some more triumphs. So,
well, Coach, congrats on another great season, and we appreciate you coming on today.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Get ready to hit the road with GoMart. Each month, we're featuring a special item to fuel your journey and score you bonus reward points in our Road to Rewards promotion. Each purchase earns you a token, so load up and keep cruising toward big rewards. Plus, the top 25 token earners each month will receive 5,000 additional bonus reward points. Check the GoMart app to see this month's featured item, and as always, earn additional savings on products store-wide with reward member exclusives. Go to GoMart.com for more details.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show, presented by GoMart. With me, I've had softball coach Sara Scoone. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Coach, this past week you were at the MEC tournament. You opened up as the number 1 seed out of the South. You got that 1-0 win over Wheeling. Fell to West Liberty on the next day. You had to win to advance to day 3. You did. You beat Point Park 4-2, and then you got eliminated by the eventual tournament champion Charleston in the elimination game. Just kind of take me through the MEC tournament for you all.
So, we started out with Wheeling, and Wheeling's pitching was great against us all year. I think Mallory's doing a great job over there coaching that team. It was, in our cards there in the last inning to have that walk-off walk. The same thing happened to us earlier in the year with having a walk-off against Wheeling, and it was actually Emma in the start of the season, too, when we played them, and she ended up doing it again. But, Wheeling was tough, and then you bounce back the next day. You play West Lib, who had a phenomenal tournament run. I mean, that team was a postseason team. I was fortunate enough to play them. I'm excited I was excited to watch that run that they had there. But our bats didn't come alive when we played them. It was 12 hits to 4, and they were just, I hate saying it. I think they wanted it a little more. And it was just how that game fell. So then we bounced back. We played Point Park. The bats really came alive against Point Park. We were hitting the balls to the wall almost every single time we were hitting it, whether it was caught or not. I was happy to see that. We got small ball down. That game ended up in our favor. Made a couple base running mistakes. I think it would have led to a few more runs. But a win's a win. And in postseason, that's all that matters. Then you go and you play Charleston, and she threw a no-hitter. Addison Mass had a great game against us. I did vote for her for Pitcher of the Year, so I was happy to see that unfold in that way. I think it was very deserved. However, I wish it was a little bit different. I'm not, happy about that by any means, and I hated that that's the way that this season ended. So.
And you talk about the season ending. You finished 36-17. You won the MEC South and the overall regular season title. You had 7 all-conference performers. I mean, once again, you were just on the outside looking in with the NCAA tournament. What do you think of the season your team put together, even with missing the NCAA tournament?
Oh, I think it was a heck of a season. I'm so proud of the growth that this team has showed. I'm excited to have the core of us back next year. I'm excited to have all my pitchers back next year. There's been a lot of ups and downs this season, but they showed their true colors when facing adversity, and I'm very proud of the character that this team was, and the players that they are, the people that they are. I do have a salty taste in my mouth when it comes to being regular season champs, and then you don't get a bid into postseason. That hurts. I feel sad for my assistant who, spent 6 years here and won't get to see postseason atmosphere. I feel for my seniors who work so hard and they won't get to see the postseason. It's a shame. I wish the MEC had better representation. I think the MEC is a great conference. I've been in it now going on 12 years. So I've been in the MEC for a while. I obviously am biased, but I think it's a great conference. I think it's competitive, and I think my players did a heck of a job and deserved a little bit more, a little bit more credit there.
And you mentioned that you're about to start your exit meetings with your players. Mm-hmm. How do you go, about with that, trying to still keep the confidence? Because it happened last year. You're at the selection show, you don't get a bid. This year, you feel like you definitely should get a bid. 36 wins, regular season title. How do you go, about moving forward with your players for next year?
You just, in the exit meetings, you talk to the players about what they, need to fix over summer, what they need to work better on, have a little focus on. But as far as, coming back next year, our plan is to win the tournament. If that's what you have to do to get that bid, that is the one thing on our mind. We're going to go and do what we can to qualify for that tournament. Then we're going to go and do what we can to win it. It is what it is at the end of the day. And when they go into their summer, I hope they have that chip on their shoulder. And then I hope that they come back and they're just ready to go at it, and expect nothing other than greatness.
Well, Coach, congrats on a great season. I know it sucks you guys didn't make the tournament, but it was fun to watch, and we appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.